live.
Hi guys, JD here, and
Sienna, hi. Sup?
so today we're gonna talk more improv, basically on the piano. But I previously showed you the riff on guitar, so I'm gonna recap that and then show you this stuff. But first, we had kind of a like a dual question because we got our signals crossed or whatever. I thought we were gonna have one Instagram live question for you, but we have two. And because I told Sienna about what I thought would be a good future idea. And do you want to tell them what the two questions are?
Well, our first question that I did ask had to do with a dream that JD had. Hi, Natalie. And so we wanted to know if you could be any superhero, what would you be? We didn't get a lot of answers, so you can still answer us. One answer for sure was Thor. If I were to be a superhero, I guess you might not think it's a superhero, but I would pick Spawn, probably.
Well, you picked someone else first, and I was going to talk about that.
First I picked Jason Voorhees. You know, that wouldn't be too bad of a superhero. What would you pick?
And when I was talking to Sienna, I think I conveyed it wrong. Basically, I was having a dream or a nightmare, I guess is more apropos. And it was like super, like I love horror movies. I don't get scared of them, but I like them. But this was like, have you seen Cabin in the Woods? Where all these I don't want to ruin it, but there's a ton of monsters coming after the protagonist.
Yeah.
It was like that, like me and I don't know 3 or 4 other dream people, and those monsters were trying to kill us. They were seriously like some bad, some mean, some like really horrific monsters. All kinds of them too. It was like basically the monsters were going to war with us. Like anywhere we could go. If it was a movie, because it was like really. If it was a movie, it'd be awesome. It'd be like NC-17 for pure horror and stress or whatever, because it didn't let up. Like, I think at one point I had what must have been less than a minute, not fighting, and even in that minute, I opened some door in a house that there was a ghost, and I can't remember now in my non-dream state, but something about that ghost meant it was particularly bad for me to have that ghost there. So it was just relentless. But then. It was still scary, horrific, whatever, but then it turned as far as compositionally, I guess, more like Goosebumps-ish. That's not easy to say ever. And it was either said or we all thought if you turn into something to fight them, you'll become that. And even in my dream, I was I'd like to be Iron Man, but I don't want to rip off Tony Stark. So I kind of had a tactical tech suit, so the equivalent of an Iron Man or something. And we became a force of that. So, and I say it's a nightmare, and it was, but I'd love to have that dream every night. But I would start asking people, what would you want to be? And the reason I would say it doesn't have to be a superhero, although my answer sounds like it would be, and it kind of is, a lot of people chose to be monsters. Seeing a lot of people I'll just join the fight, man. I'm good. So if you want to answer that for next week or during this live. And then the second question, or what I thought this question was going to be, Sienna, you want to tell them?
So I did not ask you all this question, but what I want to know is what, during this quarantine stage in our life, have you made any internet purchases that have been a total fail or that you just regret? You got it and you were like, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. It happened to me. This was
epic reveal next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, so on to the show. The riff I showed you previously, the jam over for the blues, I'm just recapping. Essentially that. I'm going to show you the same riff on the piano. We've got some of the stuff right now. This is the progression, so that's right now. The actual notes, I'm just going to tell you. And hopefully that works. Hopefully you see I can get kind of a good close-up or closes up of what I'm doing. Let me look at my notes. Okay, so that same progression on the piano. I'm going to show you just the left hand first. And I'm going to tell you the notes from left to right, lowest to highest. For the G part, and each one of those blocks is a bar. So 4 beats per each little block. So the first one the first 4 are G. And I'm just going to show you once to tell you the notes. Pinky's going to go to G, and then index is on the D, and your thumb is going to alternate with the index on the E. So it's going to be G and D at the same time, and G and E at the same time. alternating. So that's a bar of that. And you're accenting the firsts and the thirds. If you don't, it's cool, you can still jam over it, but it's more like... It becomes more rock and roll. And for me, they can definitely improvise over rock and roll. I think people hear that and they want to start making lyrics and making a song, which is fine. Just know about that. And then C is going to be pinky on the C, index on the G, alternating with a thumb on the A. And if you're following that, well, we didn't do it that many times, but it would go back to the G, and I'll show you that in a second, but I'm going to show you the D over there. And your pinky is going to be on the D, index on the A, and alternate that with a thumb on the B. So really, if you learn one of these, if you keep the same number of keys in mind, you play in whatever key signature you want. Sienna, do you want to show them? Well, I'll say what it is first, and if you show them the little chart or whatever, it's not even a chart, it's just the letters. But we're going to be going over for the G chord, it's going to be the G minor pentatonic, which is G, B flat, C, D, and F. And then over the C chord, we'll play C minor pentatonic, C, E flat, F, G, and B flat. And then for the D, it's D, F, G, A, and C. And I'm going to show you right now. Hopefully you can kind of make it out from that angle. The social distancing is making things a little difficult. But I'm going to play the chords and play slowly the scale over it. So first up is a G riff over with a G minor pentatonic over it. So. This isn't getting too redundant. For the next two, for C and C minor and D minor pentatonic, I'm just going to play ascending. So here's C. No, that's not C, it's D. And finally for D, and this is going to be all white keys. So those were examples of the notes that Sienna held up for you. And now I'm going to just play a little improv for you, but I'm going to make a couple of a disclaimer or so, and I'm going to contradict myself. Sometimes that happens even when you're being honest. Basically, I've played this Instagram Live stuff I've been doing for you all. If you condensed it, it'd be like less than maybe 30 minutes or 45 minutes. That's like the extent of my live playing. For piano, I'm way more comfortable on guitar. Not to say I'm not comfortable here, but I might make a mistake, and that's why I'm telling you. But I also want to say that with a caveat of, here's the first contradiction: you should never, or you should almost never, call attention to your mistakes. If you're playing with a band, it'll stop the music. You never want to stop the music. Keep going if you make a mistake. If you're playing a performance, people want to be entertained. They want to get into the music. They don't want to know. They probably didn't pick up on their mistake, and if they did, they're probably like, whatever, what's coming next. And the people that are looking for mistakes will find them anyway, so don't help them out. The reason I'm telling you, though, is because I'm teaching you, and while I don't mind you learning from my mistakes, I don't want you to learn my mistakes. So what I'm thinking might happen is, because I have so many years of guitar, I'm basically in rhythm and lead. The more I get into it, and you want me to get into it because you don't want like a robot, this is my improv, that would be lame. I might lose the rhythm or something, so I'm going to try to do that, but there might be a couple mistakes. Just know that this is more or less what I'm showing you, but it might not, might go over a couple bars, and who knows what might happen. But yeah, that aside, unless you're teaching somewhere, something's going to happen. Oh, and if you're recording too, you can always edit out a mistake. Keep going with the music, unless it's this kind of situation. But another reason I'm going to show it to you is because I want to show it to you. And I'm almost there, but one of the things about being a musician or artist or anything almost in life, if you wait for perfection, it's probably never going to happen. Do your best to get there, practice, but don't get hyped that like I can't make mistakes, because that's going to happen. And that's the third thing, especially in improv, love your mistakes. It happens, whatever, it's part of it. There's a saying that like you play a note wrong once and it's a wrong note, essentially. You play it twice and it's jazz, and it kind of makes sense. So here we go. Here are my mistakes. Hopefully not. So I'm going to play the G, C, D. Basically, that's a G minor blues progression. So. So did you see us doing there, Sienna?
Yeah.
Viewers, hopefully you saw what I was always playing piano, but in relation to this, left hand was doing that chord stuff, and I was doing the pentatonics that she showed you.
This right here.
Yeah, G minor pentatonic over the G riff, C minor pentatonic over the C riff, and D minor pentatonic over the D riff.
So one hand is doing this, and the other hand is doing this.
You had some question on guitar or something? I lost my pick. Right, Sienna?
Yeah. Just like do some improv that, and I mean, I know you're.
Oh, well, let me show them this real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I did want to do this, and I'm just gonna, since I said I'm more comfortable on guitar, I'm just gonna like make something up, and then I'll explain what I want you take away from it. So that's something that I think is really important in becoming a good improviser, is just to like noodle around. I'm sure that sounded rock because I come from a very much rock background, regardless of what I'm playing. But I wasn't thinking a particular genre. I wasn't thinking a form of music. I was just like expressing myself on guitar. I was barely thinking. I was just playing. It's very second nature on guitar. But for whatever instrument you play, you should tap into that, because you're going to feel more comfortable when you're playing live or playing with others or whatever, or just recording, trying to get some good music flowing out of you. Learn the rules, but then have a time when you put them aside or break them. It's you learn them to kind of get a map of where to go, but that doesn't mean that has to be your destination. Hopefully that wasn't too metaphoric. So you were saying, Sam?
Yeah, so I think that any of our regulars here, or myself, or anybody else who's around you when you play guitar, used to seeing you or hearing you go the rock route. Can you improv something that isn't rock?
So the first what we're going to do is get rid of the distortion, because that's a very rock sound. Ugh, I didn't like that one. We're going to spend 10 minutes on tone. Oh, weird. So I would just go for, like, in my mind, anti-rock. It's still probably going to be rock. Would be mellow, I guess, so. I don't know why that effect is on there, but I'm going to use it. Not if I had that setting. So it kind of came out rock. And I kind of lost it because I kind of like the sound or whatever. But I don't know why that delay's on there. Here, try this. See if this is. Yeah, I guess I can play anti-rock.
Anti-rock?
Something that's not rock. And I was getting into that, so I almost like forgot we were recording. My apologies if I went way too into that. So the answer is yes, I guess. I just got to change my mindset. And once again, it's not like I'm always trying to play rock, but I wonder if I was playing for someone, and it's on 8-string guitar, so I don't know if this is going to work here. Something like that. But to me, that it's not even rock, but they're like, oh, that sounds metal. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not arguing, but yeah, it's always gonna have a little rock edge to me. What do we have? Like 1 minute? We're doing record time.
15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. That's good. Next week, well, think about that question. If you're being attacked by monsters or whatever, and you turn into something to fight or join them, if you want to be one of those people, don't fight the good fight. Sure, let us know. And then your bad purchase or
Yeah, your internet regret.
regret.
Internet purchase regret.
It's my band. Internet regret. Next week, we're going to definitely start gearing things towards Halloween. I'll have some. Let's give you a third question. Throw out some suggestions for Halloween sounding music you might want to learn. We are gonna discuss the Devil's Tritone. Ooh, let's see. It's got a real spooky sound to it, and it's got a really cool. I don't know. It's a really cool element. Music. We'll discuss that. I don't know. Probably ask for some ghost stories or something. What do you think, Sienna?
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. So hopefully you learned something or everything today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit us up with anything you want to learn, and I don't know. Stay safe, guys. Bye.
Bye.